By the end of this video, you will see thousands of certificates generated automatically for free like this using the tool n8n. First, let us understand how we can generate certificates in bulk. Before we go to the topic, let us first understand the requirement. We need thousands of records for creating thousands of certificates. How can we create a dummy record to achieve this automation? So first I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll explain my requirement clearly to ChatGPT. I say I need 1,000 records of students, uh, course enrolled, and start date, end date, and certificate issued, yes or no, right? In a downloadable Excel file, right? So once I give this prompt to ChatGPT, so I don't need to worry about the actual data generation. I don't need to generate data. I don't need to run for the data, but instead ChatGPT will give me some random information which I can use for this exercise. So what do we need once I have this, right? So once I have this data ready, I want a template where I can fill the certificates. Best tool for us is to use Canva, right? So what I'll do, I'll go to another tab, look for canva.com, log into your Canva account, make sure you logged in, right? It can be a free account, that's not a problem. And once you logged in, search for certificates. For me, this looks better. This has a name of the person, this has a course name and some course completion dates as well. So I'll take this certificate, right? And then I want to create certificates in the same template, but for thousands of students, right? Before I customize, let me go back to ChatGPT to see if my request has been fulfilled. There is a file generated. I can download it, right? Wow, right? So it has created thousands of students completing courses, start date, end date, everything is done, along with the column for certificate issued, yes or no, right? So it is loading. See, it has the course details, start date, end date, but start date, end date are in a different format. So I have to basically format it, right? So if it is coming like this, make sure that you select everything, right? Go to format cells and then do a date format, right? You choose some format and click on OK. So you will have it in a date format, right? This is clear. Now certificate issued, yes or no is also given, right? So this is clear for me. So I'll verify if it has 1,000 names. Yes, it has 1,000 names, 1,000 courses. Maybe may not be 1,000, but there are random courses, random start dates, and random end dates, along with the column certificate issued, yes or no. Once we have this data, basically for us to work with n8n, the data should be on cloud. It cannot be on some files on your local desktop. So what I'll do, I'll copy everything and go back to another sheet and open sheets.google.com. When you open this, make sure that you log into the correct account. Once I'm here, I'll create a blank spreadsheet and say course completions, right? And then I will paste the data from my Excel, right? Just paste it correctly. It has a student name, it has a course enrolled, it has a start date, end date, and the column for certificate issued, yes or no. That's clear. So now I have this data ready. Second, I want to work on the template. I'll go to this Canva. This template looks good to me. I'll click on customize this template, right? And I don't want names like this for the template. So what I'll do, I'll rename this. I'll double click. Okay, you can do double click, and you can rename it. Okay, I'll double click and say uh, student name, STUD, ENT, student name, and here I'll rename it as course completed, right? I'll say course completed, right? And then here I'll say course completion date. That's what I want, right? So I want some name here, the name of the course completed here, and the course completed date here, right? So once you create such template, right? Of course, Canva does not provide an direct integration to n8n, so we cannot edit in Canva, but Canva provides an option to export any template to a specific format. So what I'll do, I click on share, and here I can use this download. Make sure that you choose option PPTX, right? So it should be in a PowerPoint file. So that way we can easily integrate it with n8n, right? So I'll choose this option PPTX, which means that should be an editable format, right? And of course, we're going to import this to Google Slides, and there we are going to use it. But for now, I'm downloading this as a PPTX file. Download, and then you will have it on your local machine. It says beige, black theme and all, but I'll say this, I'll call this as template in my system, right? Once I have this, for me to again work on creating certificates, I need some tool which is supported by n8n, right? Ideally, Google Sheets or Google Slides is a specific app which is like PowerPoint for Google. So there I can copy this template, right, and there I can work on further things. So I'll go to Google Slides, open this slides.google.com, sign in, you choose a Google account, right? And once you are in, right, there are many that I did for practice, ignore that. Let us, instead of here, let us create a blank presentation. Yes, close this and do file, import. So follow the steps exactly, otherwise it will not work, okay? Import, upload, and whichever template that you created recently, try to upload it here. The moment you upload, what will happen? This PPTX file will be converted to a Google slide format. So click on this and say import slides. So you'll have two sheets, right? So second sheet will be the actual certificate. Ignore these extra content, that's okay, because certificate will be truncated up to this borders, okay? So ignore that, not a problem. And this extra page is not required, so I will remove the page. I want only one page, which should be a Google template. Now I'll rename this as well to the name template, right? So once I do this, I'll close this. And now instead of Google Slides, I'll go to Google Drive, right? Because only in Google Drive, I can copy the file, I can save the file as PDF, everything will be done in Google Drive. So I'll connect to my account. Then I'll go to my drive. And here, let me create folders for this. Create a folder, I say certificate, I'll say bulk certificate, right? Into the folder bulk certificate, I'll create two folders. First folder is for PPTs, right? And another folder is for PDFs. Ideally, when you're sharing the certificate with students, PDFs is the best format because that cannot be edited and that will give a professional look. So basically, I want PPTs and PDFs for the certificate. Now, we already have a template created that will be in the My Drive homepage. So basically, whatever you create in Google Sheets, I mean Google Slides, that will come to Google Drive automatically. The Google Drive, so you will find the template if you scroll all the way down, right? So here's the template. See, this is a template, right? So what I'll do, I'll click on this and say organize, move. So where I'm going to move, I'm going to move inside the folder called bulk certificate, right? So That template is here. We should have the PPTs edited with the correct name here, and the PPTs should be saved as PDF here, right? So that's the intent. So now we have the template ready, we have the data ready, and now we can jump into the actual automation. I'll open n8n, create a new workflow. Right. So once you're here, I click on plus and say trigger manually. I want to trigger manually. And then I'm going to create certificates in bulk. But for testing, I'll do only for one file. So what I'll do, I'll connect Google Sheets because that's where the exact data lies in. And then I'll use the option get rows in a sheet. I want to get all the rows in a sheet. First, make sure that you connect to the correct account. So click the drop down credential, click on create new credential, click on sign in with Google. Make sure that you select the correct account, and then you should be connected. Click on continue. You should be connected. I'll name it as Stan Skill New, right? And I would save. So once you connect to Google account, so make sure that you select the correct document here. So document is basically called as template, right? So this is the document, okay? So I'll go again. See, this document will be named as template, right? So sorry. So this is about the Excel file, right? So Excel file is somewhere different, right? The Excel file is in my drive, but in different folder. That will be uh, with the file name. Uh, I don't know. So here it is course completion, right? So it will be in the name course completions, right? So here, make sure you select the file course completions, and sheet will be sheet one by default. And then I'll apply some filter where I will say certificate issued should be no, which means that wherever certificate is not issued, I will generate certificates, right? And for now, I'll choose return only first matching row so that even if there is any issue, it will stop with the first row itself, right? So click on this, turn on first matching row. So it returns the matching rows. Let us first test these two steps, right? We connected a Google Sheets reading a spreadsheet, right? If I execute, I should get the first data out of it. See, the first record is Divya Singh and the information is there. Maybe we can verify it here. The first record is Divya Singh. Okay, that's there. Once I have it, what should I do? So once I have the certificate, right, I have to copy the file basically because I cannot edit the same file. I have to copy the file to a different folder. I would say, so when I want to copy a file, I have to go to Google Drive node and then use the option copy file, right? What I'm going to copy? I'm going to copy the file called template, correct? And we know where the folder, where the file template is, right? So here I'll choose the file, right? So where is the file? It is named as template. Make sure that you choose the correct account, right? And I don't know, I have a lot of templates here. So basically, I have many files with the name template. So what I'll do, I'll go to Google Drive and open this bulk certificate and rename this template to a different name. I would name uh, certificate template, right? So that will be unique name. I'll come back to n8n, choose a drop down and search for the name certificate template, right? That's the one. So the template, to which file I'm copying to, right? So template is a file that will be same for all the cases, but of course, for every student, I want different files to be created, right? The first thing here I say for the name, for the naming conversion, right? I just want the name to be unique. So what I'll do, I'll use the row number 2 can be the name of the file, right? And then I'll rename it as .pptx, right? That's how it should copy to. So I want the file to be copied as uh, the row number and .pptx, right? And I'm not copying in the same folder. I'm copying in the folder called ppts, right? So uncheck this and then say from the list, I want the folder to be ppts. There are two folders, right? Basically. So what I'll do, I'll rename this to a different name. I'll rename this to certificate PPTs and this PDFs to certificate PDFs, right? I want the PPT version of the file edited to be copied here, okay? So what I'll do, I'll now click the drop down once again and say certificate PPTs, right? And then the moment I click on execute, I should find the file copied to the certificate PPTs folder. First, let us check. This folder is currently empty. There is no file. But the moment when I click on execute, I should have the file copied here, right? Just wait for a moment and I should find the file here. It is done. Come back. The file is here, right? But there is no changes done. It still says student name, course completed. It doesn't reflect the actual data, right? So what do we have to do, right? In the certificate, I have to replace the student name with the actual student name, the course completed with the actual course completed, and the course completion date with the exact course completed date. How can I do that? So once I'm here, right, then I have to use something called Google Slide, Google Slide, because that's where we can edit a PPT. And then I will use the option replace text in a presentation, right? I'm going to replace text in a presentation, right? So make sure that you choose the correct account, click on create new credential, click on sign with Google, and then choose the correct account. Continue, and you are done, right? I'll name this as stand still new and save, right? What is the presentation ID? Don't worry, that will be the unique ID of the file. Of course, once you copied, you will have the ID created. Just drag and drop the ID here. So that is the file we're going to make changes. And what do we replace? Add text and exactly mention what are we replacing. In the slide name, you will have some ID generated. Don't worry, just select it, not a problem. Now search for what I'm going to search for, right? I'll open one PPT, right? Just to say this, right? Student name is the text we're going to search for. So copy the name, come here and put here student name. What should I replace it with? That student names will be from this get rows in the sheet, right? So here I would say this student name, right? Then I can say another text to replace, right? Choose the same ID. Here I want to search for this course completed. So copy it, come to n8n and put it here. Replace with the course enrolled. Clear? Add text and this time again the same ID and search for the course completion date, right? Paste here, replace that with end date of the course. Clear? So once we are done with this thing, right? We have to make sure that this is done correctly. I'll execute the step for now to see if that changes are actually reflecting, right? So you can see now it has the content which is common in the template. But once I execute this step, come back to PPT, the name got changed. Clear, right? What is the next step? Once the certificate is generated, I have to save the certificate as a PDF, right? Otherwise, I cannot send as PPT to anyone. So that should be in PDF format, right? So what can I do, right? To achieve this, let us come back to n8n, close this, and we have to basically download the file, right? So for downloading, you have to use Google Drive and then choose download a file, right? So what I'm downloading from the list, make sure that you give by ID and then choose the correct ID, the presentation ID, right? That's the file I'm downloading. But while downloading, I don't want it to be a PPT. I want that to be a PDF, right? So in the add option, choose Google file conversion, click on add conversion. Here under Google Slides, make sure that you choose PDF, right? Don't change anywhere because this is common for Google Docs, drawings, sheets, everything, okay? So for us, the input is Google Slides. So from Google Slides, I want to convert that to a PDF, right? The moment you do this, click on execute, you will have the PDF downloaded here, right? Of course, it is not in Google Drive, but it is now available locally. You can download this, you'll have the file ready, right? I don't know, it still has the name PPTX because we did not rename it so, but we know that this downloaded, okay? And here it says that MIME type is application/PDF, right? Now, there is one final thing, right? So, uh, even though we downloaded this as PDF, right? We have to make sure that it is uploaded. I mean, even though the downloaded file has the extension PPTX, while we upload, that should be and as a format PDF, right? So for that, I'll use another activity on Google Drive and choose upload file, right? Here, same account, it's all fine. Data, make sure that this name matches with this name. That's correct. In the file name, I want to really make the name unique. So I'll go to this get rows in a sheet. Also, I'll maximize this and I would name it as this, right? So I want to have the certificate named as the student name, right? And then a hyphen symbol, sorry, okay, a hyphen symbol, and then the course enrolled, right? Hyphen symbol, and then the end date. So I want the file name to be like this. See, they are saying this course and this end date, right? If you want, you can still uh, remove the spaces to make it more neat, right? And I have to ensure that this will be uploaded as a PDF file, not PPT file. I will say dot PDF. So we are almost 90% done. Once I did this, I'll click on execute. Before I click on execute, I should say that this should be uploaded to a different folder, right? I would say this is the file which is coming from a data, right? But I want to upload it to a different folder, right? So I say parent folder is not the root folder, but that should be the certificate certificate PDFs folder, right? That's where I have to copy it to, right? So everything is done. I'll execute. Let us go back to this PDFs to see the file should copy here. Let's wait for a moment. The file is ready, right? You can open this file. This is an actual PDF, right? That is generated. Now, just go ahead and try to generate certificates in bulk, right? So when we generate certificates in bulk, what will happen, right? So here, instead of this, I'll rename this as this, right? Which is return only first matching row. And then if I execute, let us see what will happen, right? So what I want is that this will return 500 items, right? So because that's where we have the no option, right? So wherever certificate is not generated, the option is no. So we have 500 items. I expect all 500 certificates to be generated, right? When I execute the workflow, let us see what happens. Here it says one item, here it says 211 items, it is 211 items, right? And now it is copying the file, right? But it does not end the step. It is looping here for 211 times, right? If I go to the actual drive and check on the PPTs folder, I will see certificates generating in bulk with the name, student name, student name, student name, right? Ideally, that is not what I wanted to, right? So what I'll do, I'll stop the workflow right? I'll open the copy file, right? And here, right, I really want to tell that do not uh, execute this 200 times and then this and then this. Ideally, n8n works in this fashion, right? Whenever there is one node which returns multiple items, then all the subsequent nodes will be executed in a sequential manner, right? So when it comes, this will be done 211 times, then it will come here. This will execute for all 211 items, then come here, then execute all 211 items. Ideally, it will take a lot of time, right? So to stop it, I want to say that for every item, start here, do it completely, then pick up the next item, right? If you want to control in that way, we have to introduce a node called loop over items. It's a loop over items. Make sure the batch size is one. That's okay. Close. And now you see there are two options: loop and done, right? So loop will be for every item for all 211 items. Whatever I want to do, that should be under loop option. And under done, when everything is done, what should be done? That should be under done option. So here I would delete this replace me, that is not required, and delete this connection also, delete this also. Now what should I do? Under loop, I want to connect here, right? So it has to copy the file, replace text, download file, upload file, and then it has to again come to the same point, right? When it comes to the same point, since it is the beginning, it starts from loop or items, the item will be looped. So if first item is done, when it comes again here, it will pick up the second item automatically. Okay. And in the done node, I don't want to do anything. I leave it empty. Or you can connect to something called do nothing, right? It just says do nothing, right? It does not it doesn't mean that we have to do something here, right? So now we change the workflow a bit, right? So now we say for every item, complete all the steps and then pick up the next item, right? Let us now execute the workflow to see if we are able to generate certificates in bulk. Execute workflow, come back to this Google Drive, right? And come here and check the certificate PDFs. We see one is done, two is done, right? Of course, this is the first thing. So we tried already, so this is coming, but ideally now we see the first record is done. Second, Arjun Bhatt is done. We see the same, we see the name changes, guys. See, here it is Data Analytics and Foundation, here it is Web Development for Arya Bhatt, right? Arjun Bhatt. Aditya Verma, it is Machine Learning Fundamentals. And then for Johnson Das, this is Cloud Computing Basics, right? For Aditya Verma, it is Machine Learning Fundamentals. For Tara Joshi, this is Project Management, Agile Scrum, right? So what will happen in a matter of some 2 to 3 minutes, right? You will have more than 200 certificates generated in bulk without even you spend a single penny on any OpenAI credits, right? Because nowhere we use OpenAI, there is no ChatGPT, nothing, right? We use ChatGPT to generate the bulk data, but of course that is for free, right? You can do it for free as well. But for this complete generation, you are not spending even a penny. Just in a matter of some 15-20 minutes, right? You'll be able to build this workflow and you can achieve this, right? And it is not necessarily for certificates. You can do it for invoice, labels, whatever you want, right? So wherever you want the data to be changed in a certificate, I mean a specific template. So everywhere you can use this, right? So practice this, and if you have any doubts, let me know. Okay. Thank you so much.